This is the Rebel Scum Podcast. Available in video on YouTube and audio wherever you listen to your podcasts. Every week, Brock and James talk the latest rumors, news, and theories from a galaxy far, far away. Support us on Patreon for exclusive offers and join the Star Wars discussion. Patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. Here
We were close. We made it very close that time. Hello, Dale.
What's up, everyone?
You could do the intro, Brock.
Okay, Rebel Scum Podcast. We're bringing you all the things we talk about Star Wars. I'm Brock. This is
James.
nice. What's up, James? How is your week?
My week is, it's been a week. I'll tell you that much. It hasn't been much more than that, but we are on Thursday, the Thursday of the week, coming up on the weekend. And then I enter my paternity leave stage where I get to hang out and change a lot of poopy diapers for a month. So I'm looking forward to how has your week been?
Not too bad, you know. I'm hoping to go on vacation soon, so.
You're going to go to Disney? I hear it's not crowded these days.
That's a statement that will never be true in the next 20 years.
So there is talk, though. They're saying, like, people are they're not going to Disney because Disney woke. So sure. But I don't know. Maybe like Disney does here. Somebody can speak to this more than we can. But I spoke to somebody who had, I believe, a relative in Disney, right? Like literally right now. And they're like, yeah, it might not be as busy, but it's still busy. It's still Disney. Yeah. So we'll see.
It's and like speaking of Disney, I keep hearing people really mentioning Bob Iger now that SAG is on strike, and it's just like, ooh, that name keeps getting dropped. I'm like, I've never heard Bob Iger mentioned this much in the space of 1 week on the podcast that I listen to. So I'm like, ooh.
He said some things, but he's a shrewd businessman, Brock. He's like, I want my money, and I refuse to. He is. I don't know. This whole strike thing it's beyond me. I'm not involved in any of it. I'm in Canada doing. I mean, it's snowing right now.
But it's going to affect us because Andor halted production.
Well, Andor hasn't completely halted, though.
No?
Not yet. I think it's about to. No, because they have a bunch of non-SAG AFTRA people working on it. And they're from the UK is illegal to strike. So those people still have to work. Even if they don't want to, they still have to. So the members of SAG can stop, but everybody else has to. So I think they're working they will stop eventually because at some point it's all going to come to a head. But I believe right now they're still stretching it as thin as possible.
Yeah.
So everything's going to get delayed. I don't know what's. You got to imagine the actors are going to get resolved sooner than later. Actors, maybe. Not the writers. The actors. Yeah. The writers are screwed. Yeah. They are screwed.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. It's like, okay, we're not getting content anytime soon.
No, and I saw Blue Beetle had a premiere in Puerto Rico last night, I think, and only the director was there. That was it. Just like that's kind of sad. Apparently, Warner Brothers thought about pushing it off a year, but that's also sad. So I don't know. Scare's gonna break out your old VHS movies for content. Can't hardly wait going, Brock. Get the old Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh yeah, VHS. That's right.
Okay.
But it's like it's interesting because San Diego Comic-Con's happening right now, and even before this, like I think Marvel and DC, and just like a lot of the movie stuff, there was like minimal like action from their part in this Comic-Con. So it's like I know Fan Expo released something last week saying that like even though that we stand with the SAG strike or whatever, we will still be having our people show up. But like, I'm curious. I keep hearing other things where it's like some of these actors and writers that are part of like podcasts and public appearances are like, it's like a gray area right now if like they're gonna be able to do that. So it's like,
yeah, I think there's like some rules like Sega's also allowed 39 independent films to go on while they're on this. So it's like 39. Right. I think there is a gray area for podcasts. I think some of them are allowed to talk, but they can't talk about movies that like they can't promote basically.
Yeah.
So they can go on and talk about their life experiences, or what we're going to talk about in just a minute, reality television. Brock, did you see the tell-all for Below Deck Sailing?
Of course not.
Well, that's all you're going to get soon. It's going to be Andy Cohen all over your TV. That's all you're going to get.
I've been busy rewatching Rebels. I am almost done season 1. And I'm like, what a great show.
I just saw a post recently, and somebody said, an actor said from the Ahsoka show, I can't remember who it was, said that Dave Filoni said basically you just need to really watch season 4 of Rebels. He said, I think you can go into it like without like nude, but I think if you watch season 4 of Rebels, that probably gives you a better understanding of what's going on. So I would watch all of Rebels because it's the most underappreciated Star Wars we've gotten, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean that on like the grand scale of people don't watch Rebels because it's a cartoon. So Rebels was way too good for what it was.
Yeah. So and it's easy to do. I think I crushed like 5 episodes in the space of an afternoon because they're like 24 or 20-minute episodes. It's wild watching the first season, which it was more of like, okay, it's a kid's show, and it's like, here's some fun adventures, and like, oh, here's Lando, and here's Leia, and here's C-3PO, and R2-D2. And then they kind of they quickly move away from that, which is like pretty cool. Yeah, no, I've enjoyed it. It's still good in my opinion. Very exciting though. There's a lot. It's mentioning San Diego Comic-Con. There's not much news going on, obviously, because there's no announcements for movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of toys coming out and a lot of books. And I never ceases to amaze me how Lego is allowed to reveal character names.
What did they reveal now?
I don't know. Like we don't know, but like there's just like they have ships come out and stuff. Like Ahsoka has a E-wing or something like that. But then there's like an X-wing set with like 4 characters. There's like the 2 villains, the robots, the droids that we see, and then a character that I'm not sure who it is, but has some random. I couldn't really read what it said, but I'm like, this could be a spoiler. Like, it's not Jason Syndulla level. Whoa, but like,
I don't. Other than he's in the show, which he should be in the show anyway. Like, and he doesn't have green hair. Mm-hmm. Would that cause such a myth online, man? People like, some are like, they made him look better. Some, why doesn't he have green hair? Who? Like, let's watch the show.
Yeah,
let's see what goes on. I don't know. I have no opinion on it, to be honest, because he's I always find it difficult when they bring an animated character into live action, because there's especially someone that is going to be not like made digitally. Like when it's an actor playing them, it's going to be tough because you're not going to get the person that looks exactly like their animated counterpart.
Yeah.
And like, it's just impossible to do that unless you drew the animated character based on somebody. You can't do it. So it's always going to be tough. It's easier to go the other way, I find. But, sometimes it works. I mean, Saw Gerrera was wild because they didn't even try to get him to look like Saw Gerrera. They were just like, we're going to get Forrest Whitaker. He's going to play this character that 3 people remember from the Clone Wars. And now he's like the most important character in Star Wars. But it's always, I don't know. I will reserve my judgment on Jason Syndulla until I see the actual person portraying him.
I don't know if this was released to like announced at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know why I was like SDCC. Freaking the 3rd anthology of From a Certain Point of View is finally coming out this August. I didn't know about this till today when I was looking up something else. I'm like, oh, very fun. So that'll be Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down, and then I know there is a new anthology for High Republic coming out, so that's fun as well. I think there's another book. There's a bunch of stuff, but like right now, it's just like get your toys. Do you like toys? Here's some toys. So yeah, but you know what? I don't. I that being said about San Diego, it's like, well, that might be nice if you go to a Comic-Con and it's like, yeah, you want to. There's all this like cool, like, oh, they're gonna announce this or this person's appearing. It's like, oh, it's just fans hanging out, liking things, artist alley, or just comic book artists.
Yeah,
like, oh,
what it's all about.
What it's supposed to be about. Like, that's kind of fun. So I hope everyone's having a good time in San Diego. But let's move to what we want to talk about.
Well, to your point about San Diego, I went to San Diego in 2009. I love San Diego, by the way. I've been there a couple of times, but 2009 was and we went there during we didn't go there for Comic-Con. It happened to be Comic-Con weekend because all the prices of every hotel was like, we're like, what's going on? They're like, Comic-Con's this weekend, and we're like, oh, cool. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
This is 2009, so it's a year after Iron Man. Like the MCU hadn't taken over Comic-Con at all, and it was we went to the convention center just to see what was up. And it was like a bazillion nerds having the time of their lives, but it wasn't like a mad rush of what's going to get announced. It was like everybody was just enjoying everything that was going on. And I think it's probably, to some respect, refreshing for a lot of the people who have been going for 15, 20 years to be like, oh, this is what Comic-Con used to be. It wasn't like the big media circus that it turned into. It was something, I mean, it was always media circus, but not to the extent that it turned into because of Marvel.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. It should be, whatever. But anyways, right. What are we talking
John
about?
John Boyega hates The Last Jedi. Did you watch this video?
I didn't watch it. I saw it.
Yeah, I just watched it. It's like a rapid fire thing. It's like, what's your what was it like? Rank the sequel trilogy movies, and he was like, Force Awakens 1, Rise 2, and then he's like, the last would be The Last Jedi. But then he also says, which everybody leaves out, I love them all. Like he kind of, or something to that effect. He says something at the end, and I was laughing. I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, obviously, like it makes so much sense, right? Like I think I think Adam Driver might say Last Jedi, but I think Daisy Ridley would go with Force Awakens first for her as well, because these are more personal to these actors. And The Force Awakens, Finn had a lot more to do in that movie than the other two. And then the second one, he has more, like, I mean, and Rise of Skywalker, I think he has more to do in a little, I mean, he yells Rey a lot, but I think he has more fun in that one than he probably did in Last Jedi. So I could see how. And also, I just think Boyega probably had a really good working relationship with J.J. Abrams. And that would be why he picked those two first. But I thought nothing of it, but I love that that people were talking about it, and that Boyega and they're like, John Boyega, and I wrote this in our headline, John Boyega hates The Last Jedi. Hates it, Brock.
Whatever. It's just like, I often wonder with actors in these movies where it's like a green screen prison, or it's like, I mean, we watch it as a viewer, as like the story. Like for a lot of these actors, it's like what is actually happening on screen they don't see. So it's like perhaps Last Jedi, regardless of story or regardless of director, it's like, oh, that was an arduous, arduous taping because I had to be on a pretend rabbit horse for like 3 weeks. Like. Yeah. It's like, who knows? And like, I don't know. It's just like, why do they ask? Like, I would be if I was John Boyega, I'd probably do the same thing where I'd be like, can we stop talking about Star Wars? Like, I know they're like, oh, maybe he'll come back, but it's just like, it's sort of like, I would get tired. It's like, hi, I work on other things, but it's like, no, you're Star Wars forever. It's like, he is like the Han Solo or Harrison Ford now of this generation, where he's like, I'm done talking about it. No, I guess Oscar Isaac is kind of the same too.
Well, Boyega now is keen to coming back, which I think if they're doing this Rey movie, you got to have Finn in it in some capacity. I don't think he needs to be a lead, but I like those two characters. I know everybody loves like the Reylo and stuff, but Finn and Rey are like connected at the hip in these, like in Star Wars. And like I know it's been 15 years and whatever when we get to the Rey movie, but I just feel like if she's rebuilding the order, he's got to be there in at some level, even if it's just like a cameo. I know he won't like that, but like just like, hey, blah, let's have a phone conversation. Like he's got to be there, mentioned at least. Like he's such a big part of Rey's life that how you do a Rey, even if she's not deleted, how you do a movie with Rey without even acknowledging Finn is beyond me. So it's good that he wants to come back because I think they could use him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for anything. Let's just make a movie. I don't care.
Ms. Rez is hoping that Boyega hires KK back. I didn't even know she got fired again. I think that's later in the show. Oh, which way we go? She fired. Check the board. Kathleen Kennedy once again kicked to the curb. She's actually, I heard this, Brock, and maybe you did too. She's the reason why Disney doesn't have as many people at the parks this year. She's the sole reason why. You know what's funny is everyone's like, Indiana Jones is a failure. She needs to go. And then Mission Impossible comes out, which is like the best reviewed movie of the last 25 years. And like it makes less movie than Indiana Jones at the box office. You're like, all right, fire them all. Fire them all.
Fired. I mean, I hate when anyone uses Dial of Destiny as an example for anything. It's like nobody wanted this movie. like who wanted Indiana Jones? Like really?
Harrison Ford and me. And I haven't seen it yet. I love Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is such a weird franchise because it's like it's always just kind of been around, and I think Crystal Skull, whatever anyone thinks of the movie, it came out like probably 10 years too late, and then Dial of Destiny came out probably 10 years. Dial of Destiny probably should have come out when Crystal Skull come out, and Crystal Skull should have come out in the 90s when they were talking about it. But what are you gonna do? Time. It's not on anybody's side except for the Rolling Stones.
It's
apparently Dial of Destiny is good. I really want to see it. I just can't go see movies right now. I'm looking for this is crazy. So Barbenheimer is this weekend. Rob Darth Ward saw Barbie. He liked it. He didn't love it. He's not seeing Oppenheimer yet because he wants to see it in IMAX, and all the IMAX screens are sold out around you guys.
Nice.
Like they are just like wiped. Yeah, that's awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like they're wiped out. He goes, well, I think it might not be IMAX. It might be like a certain IMAX. Anyway, whatever. The movie, the way he wanted to see it, it was sold out. So he's going to hold off until he can see it that way, which is totally respectable. So yeah, this weekend, Barbenheimer's coming out, and they're both projected to make a lot, but I think Oppenheimer's going to make less than Indiana Jones 2. Fire Nolan! Fire Nolan!
Yeah. I am really excited to see what happens with Barbie and Oppenheimer this weekend. I think this has just been a wild thing. Yeah. I've said this before. I'm excited to see both, though Oppenheimer's 3 hours long, and I'm like, why? Stop it.
Yeah, apparently though it's 3 hours and the whole thing is like intense from like start to finish.
Well, that's good.
Intense. And you know me, man. Give me 90 minutes or give me. I'm good.
Oh yeah, 90 minutes. I watched that Netflix movie, The Outlaws, with Pierce Brosnan and Adam Devine. 90 minutes. Was it a fantastic movie? It was fine, but it was 90 minutes.
Do you know what movie is 90 minutes? It's Dunkirk. I loved Dunkirk.
Dunkirk is 90 minutes?
It's like, hold on, let me check it out. I think it's 90 minutes. But it's like, there's so much going on, but not a lot going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dunkirk runtime, 1 hour and 47. Okay, so it's 100 minutes.
Still, I'll take that.
Right? That's insane. Like how short that is. Yeah, it's super short. Because there's not a lot there.
Yeah, there's like the argument of like a 3 hour movie is fine if you keep me engaged the whole way. You could argue, what's that movie? Endgame is exactly like that. But
I don't like there are, because I would say 90 minutes, but there are 3 hour movies that I really enjoy. There are few and far between, and Avatar is not one of them. I won't even put on the second one. I can't do that to myself.
Dude, no, this like the first one is nothing in comparison to the second one where you're like, this just keeps happening at me. And my wife was like verbally angry throughout.
Yeah,
she ignored the movie, kept coming. He was like, this movie is so stupid. It's like,
I will say, okay, so Lord of the Rings, I love the theatrical Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
But I actually prefer the extended Lord of the Rings. It goes against everything I believe in. But yeah, okay, the extended ones are just so much better. But I also appreciate that I can watch them on DVD through like a 12-day period. Like I'm like, here an hour today, hour tomorrow, and just watch it over time. In the theater, those like King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong, I kind of enjoyed, but that movie was like 45 minutes, way too long. Like they're on the boat for like 4 hours, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I love Jack Black, but we need to get off this boat. I need some monkey action in my life. Let's do this. There are movies that are 3 hours that I quite enjoy, and then 3-hour movies that I think every movie. No movie needs to be 3 hours. So sorry, no. Fantasia. And even Endgame. Endgame does work at the however long that is, 4 hours, whatever it is. It works. It does work. Doesn't need to be that long. Infinity War, I would cut out all the space dogs. All the space dogs at the end, cut them out. They're pointless. Just cut out all the space dogs. They add nothing to anything. Just go straight to Thanos being like, bam, and then just kill everyone. And then have Peter Parker like, I'm so cold, Tony. I'm so cold.
So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, I can't wait to see what those movies do this weekend. Just watching that has been crazy. Yeah, but you're right. Like it's like I think we're at a point in our film watching that it's like I don't want to go to a theater and sit in the same seats, though they are way more comfortable than they used to be.
For you,
for 3 or 4 hours, right? Like it's just like,
yes,
but like. It's like it is a weird dichotomy where it's like we don't want to do that in the theater, but we'll do it here, no problem. The ability to pause, start, stop, whatever. Like, yeah, and that's why like the Lord of the Rings, that like extended cut was genius. I've always said they should have done that with Harry Potter because there's so much like Harry Potter fans will watch Harry Potter for 4 to 5 hours, like easy. So it's like give them all this extended stuff, perfect.
If they shot that stuff.
Absolutely, you have to have the intention of shooting it ahead of time. But like,
I think people forget that they're like, "Wow, just that." It's like, well, they didn't shoot it. Like, I don't know about Harry Potter. I can't speak. I don't know if they did or not. I've never read the book, so I don't even know what you're talking about.
But like,
is there more Kenneth Branagh, Brock?
Probably. I mean, there is extra stuff in the books that you don't see in the movies that aren't like big, so that's why they cut it. But like for a fan that loves details. Most of the stuff is usually just people standing in a room talking. That's it.
And that's why I think they're planning on doing a show on HBO Max, a Harry Potter show.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll screw it up somehow. But that's where stuff like that, because then you can push the show, right? Yeah. Like, because it'll be like 8 episodes. But are you going to do a whole book? Like, if you do a whole book in 8 episodes, that gives you minimum, like, if they're hour-long episodes, that gives you 8 hours. Right, which is 4 times longer than the movies. Like you have 4 times, so you can add those little details that in a movie you'd be bored with, but on a TV show because it's weekly or whatever, you can space that in a way where you get that and you actually go, okay, this is just plot. Like it could work better in TV show. I don't know if they'll do that or not because I don't know. They'll probably screw it up and it'll probably just be a remake of the movie shot for shot with new actors who aren't as good.
Who knows?
See you, Zaslav. I see you. He made like $500 million last year. Also, I'm a little creeped out that everybody knows what everybody's making in Hollywood now. I'm like, I really don't. I don't need to know. If you're happy with what you're getting, you're happy. Also, this show is brought to you by AI, artificial intelligence, who wrote all. I should start doing my top 5 list through AI and see what they say. And then like, damn it, we're so close. Anyway, Lando, the Lando series, Brock, the showrunner for Lando, or supposed Lando, I believe is the director of the Haunted Mansion movie. Oh. So it was, and he said that he put in a lot of hard work into Lando, was very happy with it, but has not heard diddly squat on it. Which I was like, how do you not hear anything on something that you're working on that they announced? But it looks like the Lando series is not gonna happen. Not gonna get Lando. That's another Kathleen Kennedy fire. opportunity to fire her over. What do you think? Like, I never believed in this show, to be quite honest with you. I was like, this show, they're announcing bull crap at this point. I never believed it. But what do you think of this Lando show not happening?
I'm sure they could have made something interesting, but it's just like, why? I don't know. I was like, okay, cool. Especially if you put Donald Glover in it, I'm like, oh, I'm in. Did you know Donald Glover is going to be in a TV show called Mr. and Mrs. Smith with, I forget who the female lead is?
Wasn't it Phoebe Waller-Bridge? I thought that wasn't happening anymore.
I saw a commercial for it.
Whoa, what? Okay, yeah. Hold on, Miss. Maybe she dropped out of it.
I don't think it's her. It's somebody big.
No, it's not. I think she was supposed to be in her drop. I could be making this up though, because she's in everything. So I could just show. How about the show, Mr. and Mr. Smith? That was a remake too, wasn't the movie? 2023. It's Maya Erskine and Donald Glover and. Okay, well, they're also crediting people from the movie in this. Really, I don't know who anybody is.
So, that's a good pairing.
Parker.
I believe Maya Erskine is Canadian, but
she is not.
Not okay. Can't remember what it was. But like she's from Pen 15, he's from Atlanta, so it's like for indie TV snobs, like, oh, that's a match made in heaven. So I'll watch that. I'll watch the hell out of that. But if you asked me a week ago when I didn't know about the show, if I would watch a Mr. and Mrs. Smith show, I'd be like, why? But then there's also a True Lies show. I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I've never heard of her. I never heard of Pen 15 either, but she is in Michael Bolton's big, sexy Valentine's Day special.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know about.
She's
that.
like a
She's
comedy
in What Hot
person.
American. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm getting that from the BoJack Horseman. What Hot American Summer 10 years later. I saw that. I think I did. She was in Kenobi. She played Sully in Kenobi. So they both have connections.
Yes, sorry. She was in Kenobi, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's cool. But yeah, it's just like, the heck? But anyways, going back to Lando, it's a bummer because it's like, I mean, not to get political about it, like people often say Star Wars is pretty whitewashed, for a better term. So it's like a movie where one of your like most popular black characters as a lead sounds like a win. But perhaps that was a reaction to political ways these days. Like, oh, we'll put it in. It's like, don't do it. Do it if you have an idea. So, but it sounds like they might have had an idea too. I don't understand choices sometimes on these things.
I don't understand just like announcing it when you've got nothing to announce. Like,
yeah. Is there like some marketing person that's just getting paid as a consultant to be like, you're going to want to announce this many titles. We have 5. You need 7.
I honestly think it was Iger and then Chapek and now Iger. And now Iger's like, I honestly do, because I think the whole Solo thing where Solo came out in May was Bob Iger's decision, because all the reports saying that Kathleen Kennedy wanted to push it to December and Iger said no, May. And then you have Mary Poppins coming out in December and that flops, and you have Solo in May and that flops. And if you flip them, maybe you don't have 2 flops. Maybe you have 2 better. Maybe they do better, because also the Solo came out 5 months after John Boyega's least favorite sequel trilogy movie, which probably had something to do with it a little bit. So I think it's Bob Iger. I think he forced a lot of MCU and Disney announcements. I think Blade was the biggest one in the MCU, where it was. I honestly think somebody forced them to announce that, because they weren't even. They're like, we're doing Blade. Yeah, when? I don't know. We need a story first. You're like, why are you doing it? So I okay. So let's address this question right here from the scuttlebutt. Star Wars belong in May. I hate that they swapped to December. I originally agreed with you, but then I got used to them in December, and I think most people got used to them in December. I wouldn't be opposed to if they just went back to May all the time. That would be different. but they kind of settled in December. But my point with Solo though was more so that it just came right after that movie, and it was a divisive movie too, right? It was one that split people right down the middle, like. And then you're recasting Harrison Ford, and we just had in the chat, one liked him, one didn't. Like, it's again, you're splitting people on that. So I would be okay if they went back to May for good, but if they're not going to, then December works for me. Except I had to drive to you in a blizzard twice, Rogue One and Rise of Skywalker blizzards.
I didn't tell you to move the woods. But like,
well, I didn't drive to you for Rogue One. It was still a blizzard, though.
I didn't tell you to do that. Anyways, I don't know. It's just like, yeah. Let's make movies. Like it's like there's not even an argument about when they're releasing them. They're not releasing them. Period. So it's like
period.
Yeah, like it's like December, October, some new month you made up, like January, December, like. Just make some movies. I don't know.
I'm down for that. Well, they're trying to, but then they're striking because.
Yeah, exactly.
Because nobody. Anyway, I'm not going to get into strikes because that's not my business. I'm not a union leader. Fran Drescher is a union.
Isn't that the best? Isn't that the freaking
it's so
best?
good. Like, they need to bring the nanny back, but make her like a union leader. The union president nanny.
The grand nanny.
Kathleen Kennedy was just fired again. Oh, my arm disappeared. Oh, I got Skywalkered.
Fucking virtual
so backgrounds. There's not much going on. There's not much going on about Ahsoka's coming out in a month's time. A month and 3 days. We got Ahsoka. So we're gonna see little tidbits of that. They could still interview Filoni and Favreau and Bryce Dallas Howard. She won't be able to. Because she has a director, though? Interesting. I don't know how it works. They can still interview Filoni. Favreau's also... Look, Filoni's going to get a lot of questions asked in the next month. And they probably have stuff in the bag as well that they'll be able to throw at us, too. So, I don't know. It just... It sucks when this happens because, again, like the Blue Beetle thing, the director's alone at this movie that everybody worked so hard on. You're like,
yeah,
that's lame sauce. But AI, man, AI is going to take over the world. James Cameron says it's going to explode everything, and Christopher Nolan says it's not. So who do you believe? Who do you?
I'm just going to believe the white man, the old white man.
But that's
choose
both
one.
Of them.
Yeah, exactly. That was my joke.
Well, James Cameron wrote about it, so I think I'm going to go with Cameron on this one.
Yes.
We are.
You haven't watched Avengers 2, Avatar 2, so I wouldn't listen to anything that submarine freak says.
Yeah, but it also it's the second highest grossing movie of all time.
There's also 10 Too Fast, Too Furious. Is like
what is that? Like, what does it say about people that they're like? People are like, I'm waiting 3 years to go to the movies again. I must go see Avatar 47 times.
I don't know.
And then they're like, but Mission Impossible, which they like blow up a train for real, and they use 47 cameras to get. They're like, I'm good. But I'm gonna watch this blue cartoon guy.
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna watch. By the way, so one thing though about the strike, because one of the things people were making a big deal about was the AI thing, where they're going to take a background actor, extra, and like digitally alter. Brock, if they do that, if they do this or not, whatever, this doesn't can't affect me because I don't have any acting experience. I mean, I'm pretty good at it, but I'm not an actor. But here's the thing: at some point when we go down this road, when you watch Tarkin in Rogue One. And all the cameos in The Flash, which I still haven't seen. When you do that, at what point does a live action film become an animated film? Like, at what point are you watching a cartoon?
Yeah.
Seriously, because that's the thing. Like, it's like, okay, you're going to do that, but the Lion King live action is still a cartoon. Yeah. It's just a realistic cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all animation. So at what point, like, where is that line?
Yeah, it's very curious because it's like, because you're like AI could like ruin people's jobs, but it's like we all already know we've been talking about it for years, that like Star Wars or Lucasfilm scans all their actors, and you're like, oh yeah, for CG, so that the actors don't have to be there for every little minutia. Like, but yeah, then you raise the. I know, what are we talking about? Like freaking Peter Jackson did in Lord of the Rings. Let's go back to that. Oh yeah, there's like 1,000 orcs. Yeah. There's 1,000 orcs standing in a field somewhere. No, there's not. So it's like, why are we surprised? Yeah, it's lame when you could, instead of spending the money on that. Like, it's not even a matter of AI. It's just like technology is better and they can create things. But like, look at Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or well, they almost didn't get it done in time, and then like Beyond Spider-Verse is now delayed because they're like, oh, we've pushed our animators too far. It's like I think yeah, AI is a thing that we have to deal with. That is very apparent, but like
there is a lot of good that can come from AI. I think it's a very useful tool, but it's also, I'm just saying, at what point are we watching a cartoon? But I mean, I think Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, there's a little more leeway. But when you're watching, like Meet Joe Black, like Oppenheimer, like at what point in Oppenheimer you're gonna be like, well, those extras there are they're all cartoon characters.
Was it you that sent me the clip that someone made with adding Oppenheimer things into the Barbie trailer? And it's just like, someone just did that at home. Like,
yep.
It's too late. Like, you can call it a new thing, AI or Chat GPT. It's like, we've been doing this for a while. The strike isn't really about that. It's a main point. But the strike is the fact their contracts don't say anything about these things. And there's no standards because nobody's doing anything. Because the people in charge don't care. They just want to make money. And no one in that organization or that, polices this has any way of enforcing it besides them writing up a new contract. And would you want, like, it's just like, it doesn't have to be like my boss is evil. It's like, well, if the solution, if the system works, why would we change it? Because changing any organization takes forever. It's like, so that's what it's really about. So anyways, it's still not going to get us any Star Wars. I can't wait till Ahsoka. I hope it's 30 episodes so we have something to talk about.
It's going to be like, what? It'll be 6 and 2 of them are the first day. And then we're going to drop 3 the next. You're like, No, I don't. I think the actors are going to be done by the fall, so we'll be fine.
Hopefully. I've 5 episodes into the 6-episode run that is Secret Invasion. And outside of a few mentions and Don Cheadle, there hasn't been a single superhero. And it's just like, this is hilarious. Very good show. I like it.
I want to see that show. I hear mixed things, but the mix I hear is what I'm more interested in because I haven't I've watched WandaVision, which I thought started strong and then fizzled. And then I watched Hawkeye, which was Christmas. So I'm like, I'm a slut for Christmas. Like, it's like, oh, this episode's okay. And then Deck the Halls plays and I'm like 10 out of 10. And then I watched 2 episodes of She-Hulk. I thought it was whatever. And then I didn't hate it or anything, but I thought it was fine. I just never went back to it. And then is that all I watched? Oh, Werewolf by Night. Does that count? No,
yeah,
that doesn't
count.
Okay, I watched that and Guardians Christmas. Again, Christmas, whatever. I don't think I watched anything else though.
They haven't watched Moon Knight?
No, and I didn't watch Logan. They just haven't enticed me to watch them. But this one, the concept really. I haven't watched it yet, but it really has. Oh, Secret Invasion is the Andor of the MCU.
That's kind of true.
the concept really this one, it makes me interested to watch it. I just haven't yet because I've been watching. I'm trying to get all the reality series in as I can because I'm waiting for more reality. I'm just joking. I just haven't had a chance to watch it, but it really does intrigue me, and I like the fact that there's no superheroes in it because I'm not the person who's like, I don't need all the cameos in every show. Like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
I'm like, just give me what we got. And so I've always been okay with that. So I am, so the negative parts I'm hearing are the parts that make me more interested in it.
It's honestly like, I might have said this before. It should have been what Agents of Shield was. It should just be a show that exists in amongst these movies and gives you a little extra here and there. Because I don't think it's going to affect how you see any of the other movies. But you're like, you just watch it. It's like, this is nice. This is nice. But like, it's not life changing. It's like, you must see. Like, it's like, like. If you had to see any of the current superhero movies, I would be like, Into the Spider-Verse. Because the other, like, Guardians and Flash, they're good. But Spider-Man is something special.
Does it even count? It feels like, because it's separate from everything. No, I'm not discrediting it in any level. I'm just saying, I don't think of it as a superhero movie. I just think of it as like an awesome, I haven't seen it, but like a movie that I want to see. Like, it's not DCU, it's not MCU, it's like Spider-Man. Spider-Verse,
It's Spider-Man though. So, and like they show clips of the live action Spider-Man. So arguably, if you want to get like specific, it does fit. It's a superhero movie. It's the first one into the Spider-Verse across the second one. Into the Spider-Verse is by far my favorite superhero movie of all time because it's just like this is exactly what reading comics feels like. It's just like a very simple story, but then you're like, we can twist it on its head and do random things. And it's just like, it just is what it is for the heck of it. Or just like, I don't know. It's relatable. I don't know. But like, and it's because it's animation. People are like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, cool. You're missing out. It's a great, like, I love the movie.
So what you're telling me is it's, Ninja Turtles Forever, but with Spider-Man.
Pretty well. I mean, because of Spider-Verse, movies like that, I'm like, I'll see this.
I love Spider-Verse. I can't wait for the second one. I'm going to wait though until I think it's August 8th.
Yeah,
I believe is digital. So I'm going to hold off until August 8th.
Yeah,
I believe that's when I'm going to have the opportunity to see it, Brock, because I could see it now if I wanted to. But I've decided I'm going to wait until August 8th to watch it. Should be good. All right, let's go to the odds.
Let's do it.
Never tell me the odds.
Never tell me the odds. Brought to you, me, and everyone in the vicinity by patreon.com/Rebel Scum Podcast. If you like what we do, why don't you come and support us so we can talk about not Star Wars, and maybe someday there'll be Star Wars content. But come and support us because we love Star Wars and become one of the following people: Heidi Feder, executive producer, Barry Brophy, Dennis Allen, Randy Kenobi, Mary Kristen Aton, Jeff Wilson, Phil Staniforth, Rez, Scott D, Josh Price,
Matt W, Frank Perkins, Neil Lowry, Cosmic Girl 02, Gleek Play 1, Disney Desi, Charlotte, Dan and Nerds, Kayla Davis, and Dale Erdman.
Thank you.
I'm going to hold that note. Oh, Brock, we got a feud coming with Suna Thrum. He likes Spider-Verse, but don't like it some. So you two can take this to the playground at 3 p.m. after class.
Well, first of all, that wasn't a sentence. But no, that's fine. I just love that movie. Anyways, so I'm biased, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's not as good as Batman and Robin. They have skates in their boots, Brock. People
freeze.
But everyone looks over like he has a bat credit card. There's skates in his boots. Whatever he needs, he's got.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. I'm gonna be governor.
I watch all those original Batman movies way more than I should. And that one I love Batman and Robin. Because every time I watch it, I'm like, I just cannot believe that some studio exec look at it and was like, yeah, we could sell these at McDonald's like that. Like it's like because it's just amazing. It's just amazing what they do in that movie. Just it's incredible. Like that movie should be studied in university.
Oh, absolutely,
for sure. Never tell me the odds. Will we see a resurgence in Star Wars video games over the next 3 years?
This is a good one because I think there is. I mean, I believe the Jedi Order, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor. Is always doing well.
And they're making another one. They're making a third one.
Yeah, that's right. And so it must have done well. The Outcast game looks really cool. I think it could be a chance. So I'm gonna go 75%.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go 67.29%. I agree. I think they might. What are they waiting for, man?
There you are.
I didn't even unplug. Nothing even changed. Oh no, you can't hear me, can you?
I can hear you.
But I sound like garbage. I do.
No, you're fine now.
Oh, it switched back. Never does. Yeah. Anyway, I think they've had with 11 years Disney's had Star Wars. Let's get some freaking games.
Yeah.
No time. Never tell me the odds. John Boyega will join the Rey movie. Well, whether or not I want him to, will John Boyega join the Rey Skywalker movie?
I mean, there's still so many unknowns about that movie in general, like if it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Wow. So, just going on what we know so far and just the vibe, I'm going to go full Brock on this because I was just like, cool. Like, it's like, do you want to be this project or do you hate this project? I can't tell your vibe on it. So it's like, I guess, like, maybe not. I don't know.
I'm going to go full Brock because I want him to, but I don't know. Like, again, if it's just a cameo, he might just be like, I don't need that in my life.
Yeah.
Or he might be like, I want a role. And if they're like, well, we don't have one, he'll be like, well, then I'm not going to do it. Which sucks. Unless you sign him for like a 12 film commitment. I don't think you're going to get him. Sooner Thrawn saying John going to be in the Rey movie 85%. That is
nice.
All right. I like those odds. And our final odd today, the next Star Wars movie will not make $1 billion at the box office. The next Star Wars film will make less than $1 billion, Brock.
What? Did all of the prequels, not Rogue One and Solo, like did those all make billions? I can't remember.
The prequels, I don't think the prequels did. Maybe for
sequel.
Yes, the only Disney era movie that didn't was Solo.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Sooner Thrawn coming in hot. He says it's a lock.
I'm gonna say 30%. I think whenever it comes out, I don't know. I'm surprised. It's Star Wars. It'll make $1 billion.
Oh, so you're higher than 30. So you're 70%.
I thought that question was it.
Oh, will not make. Yeah, okay. Well, I can't read my own writing. I'm gonna say 70% it won't make $1 billion. How about that? I'm gonna go lower. I'm gonna go lower than and I think look, there's a caveat to this. If the movie's really good, I change my opinion to $1 billion. But if the movie comes out and it's average, like it's a movie, like you and I like it, obviously, and Sooner Thrawn likes it. But people are like, yeah, that was okay. I don't think it does. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy's at around 800 probably.
Right.
The Batman Guardian of the Galaxy, where people are like, it's good, but there's no like obsession over it. It's just like, it's good. It will. Or if it has enough blue people, it could go the Avatar way and make $1 billion. Just add some blue aliens, Disney. Oh, look at this. The new Star Wars film will make $776 million. I think if it's average, it's definitely going to make around there. That's what I think. If it's really good, if it blows people's minds, it's going to cross $1 billion. But they gotta. And now, Peter, you're getting it on Disney Plus too, Brock, and it's going to be on Disney Plus in 2 months after it comes out. Why are you rushing to the theater?
The $776 million is just hilarious to think. Like, if it made that, it would be considered a flop. It's like,
Yeah, but I think that is around when Amazing Spider-Man 2 made, and Sony was like, no, we can't do it anymore. So
yeah.
I guess it
just
depends on how
makes
much.
no sense.
And never will to us. We
Yeah.
don't deal with those kind of money. All right, top 5.
Top 5 standing by.
Top 5 today. It was going to be one thing, but because John Boyega hates The Last Jedi, we are going to go with our top 5 Last Jedi moments. We should have done like top 5 least favorite moments to really, and they're all John Boyega. John Boyega riding the father. Suicide Squad made $700 million. So soon as that. All right. Top 5 Last Jedi moments for me. Number 5 is the opening dogfight. After the terrible jokes, when we get to the dogfight, I thought that dogfighting was awesome. So I'm going to go with the opening dogfight.
I've said it a million times in this podcast, but my number 5 is going to be Finn and Rose's plan on how to get onto the ship to turn off the tractor beam. It's just so Scooby-Doo where it's like, yeah, we'll just sneak on and then we'll be gone. That part just makes me laugh every time.
I can't wait till you say Luke throwing the lightsaber. Number 4, my phone auto-corrected porgs to ports.
Oh, porgs. There's not like a stuff in that movie.
Porgs and the lightsaber. Just porgs. I mean, it's any porgs, but porgs and the lightsaber.
Yeah. My number 4 is going to be porgs, too, because it's just like, it's so easy.
I just love me some porgs. Number 3, crate. Crate. You want some salt? You go to crate.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say my number 3 is the dogfight / or no, maybe I'll be something somewhat different to what you said. I'll have Poe's run on the dreadnought at the beginning of the movie. That looks so cool, and you're like, what a guy!
What a guy! My number 2 is Luke on the Falcon, and he sees the message from Leia, and R2's there, and it's just, I'm like, this is a good moment.
And then my number 2 is going to be Luke talking to Yoda after he burns the Jedi.
Oh, forgot Yoda was in the movie.
That's the thing that we always forget about. We never talk about that.
I forgot. Yeah, but you know what? He looked chubby. He looked like he got chubby. Number 1 is, I don't even know if I have to say it at this point, the Praetorian Guards.
Oh, yeah.
When Praetorian Guards show up, I am all in. I don't even care. To me, they're in all 3 of those movies. They're even in Rogue One in the hallway scene with Vader by his side. I see them everywhere. That's my number 1.
My number 1 is going to be just crate in general, like the subterfuge of the Force Skyping with Luke, and just I always like the idea that it's salt and then there's red underneath, just to prove that whole Luke isn't actually there. I'm like, I like that. I would feel like clips of the ships running over crate from high up, those shots we see, that would be a great screensaver if your computer actually ever uses a screensaver.
I wonder if that's one of those. So, yeah. I wonder if that's one of those things on Disney Plus where you go over the planets. I wonder if that's one of the
biomes. I don't think so, but because it's Hoth and Endor, the big ones, right? But I would totally watch that over and over.
Yeah, as soon as Thrawn's 5, a ray training, Snoke dies, crate, Luke versus Kylo, Yoda.
Ray training.
Yeah.
And Luke.
That's good. Ryan Johnson leaving Luke saying, I'll show you 3 lessons, then edits 1 out. It doesn't bother to change. That's funny. Battlefront 2, that was a fun level on Battlefront Part 2. I think it was the second Battlefront. It was great. Nice. It was fun. Those movies are fun to see. Those movies were fun to go watch. I'm looking forward to watching Star Wars movies once again in the theater. Like they were meant to be seen. Like George Lucas said. By the way, actually, Disney might sell to Star Wars back to George Lucas. So that's going to happen probably within the next... because Kathleen Kennedy was just fired. And George Lucas said, I will buy Star Wars back and rehire you. All right, that has been the show. Brock, we're done. Let's wrap this up.
What a day. What a dollar.
All right. Thank everybody in the chat. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys. You make the show a lot more enjoyable when we can laugh at certain things and also reminding us of our mistakes. Right, Brock? Anything else you want to say?
Shout out to Sooner mentioning 65 is on Netflix, which it isn't in Canada, which sucks. I wanted to see that movie. Adam Driver. No, it's not on our Netflix unless you have American Netflix. No, so I looked it up. Adam Driver fighting dinosaurs. I love Adam Driver just does the most random movies now, and I'm here for it. So I definitely would love to watch that movie.
Fantasia told me I would like that movie, but I saw that I didn't know what it was. I watched the trailer. I was like, oh my god, Brock! I don't know if you remember this. There was a show in the '80s called Dino Riders, and I'm watching this trailer and I'm like, this is like the same setup as Dino Riders, where there's people in like it's basically spaceships in the future, and then somehow they go back in time to Earth in the prehistoric era, or they and they're like, oh, but there's good guys and bad guys, and they use their tech and they put the tech on the dinosaurs and they weaponize dinosaurs. Like Colin Trevorrow would have been all over this. And like they're called Dino Riders. And I was at Toys R Us sometime in the 80s, and we're at the checkout, and they had like the kiosk at the checkout, and there was this VHS tape called Dino Riders. And I was like, Dad. He said, no. I said, Dad. He said, no. I said, Dad, it's Dino Riders. And he said, damn it, all right. And he bought me this VHS tape. Didn't know anything about it. Greatest series to not blow up is Dino Riders. But this movie reminded me of it. I'm like, somebody make a Dino Riders movie, Spielberg. I'm going right to Spielberg on Dino Riders. All right.
I just So
anyways, I want to see that movie too.
Nice.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Give us a like and subscribe. And Brock, you were always scum.
Rebel scum.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.